Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Thursday night, and every other Thursday night I jump on and do a mystery challenge. And then the alternate week I do a technique. So this tonight it's a mystery challenge, and I shared the clues earlier today, and I think it was Claudia whose comment was, gee, that looks like an invite to make to use sweet citrus, and she was bang on with that. So my clues were Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, and Granny Apple Green. So I'm going to make a card using those, and I'm using the sweet citrus bundle. I love this bundle. I just love the citrus fruits, and you can do so much with this. Now I'm going to I guess it's going to be an orange. I just was looking at the colors thinking, it's going to be kind of a yellowy orange, but sometimes your oranges are not very orange inside. So we're going to make the inside of the fruit yellow and the rind Calypso Coral. We'll see how it goes. Hey, Darlene, welcome. And then the some leaves in Granny Apple Green. I just really like it. And it's a bit of a fun fold, a little bit different than I've made before. So let's switch over and we will get started. All right, it's kind of hard, the glare from my light. So there's the colors, Calypso Coral, Daffodil Delight, Granny Apple Green. If you don't have these specific ones, you can use, you could use Pale Papaya, So Saffron, and any green actually. So, play around with it and see what you've got on hand. Hey, Dawn and Tam. All right, so now, if you haven't played with this sweet citrus, I was so happy to see this carry over into the upcoming annual catalog. It is a hybrid embossing folder. So you get the photopolymer stamp, an embossing folder, 3D embossing folder, and then the dies. And then you've got this one die here that fits in. This is why it's called a hybrid embossing folder. So this die fits in, and so you can stamp and cut out your images at the same time. It's really cool. So that's what we're going to use tonight. Okay, so let me get my other pieces. I did some cutting, and so I've got a piece of Daffodil Delight. That's going to be my card base. Now, as I said, this is a bit of a different, or just a bit of a fun fold. So what we're going to do is you need a piece that is 5.5 by 8.5. So I've got my Daffodil Delight. What we're going to do is we are going to score it at 4.25. I'm just going to, this is already scored, but I'm just going to rescore it because it's not very, there we go. All right. So then, but we're also going to cut it. So what you want to do is you want to cut from the top on the score line. So if you can do this without actually moving it, you want to cut down along that 4.25 inch score line to down. So you want to cut down 2 3/4, which is halfway because this is 5.5. And then we're going to turn it 90 degrees and we're going to line it up at 2 3/4. And we are going to cut across the card to that cut line. And if you go a little over like I did, it's not a big deal. So let's move this out of the way. So now we've got basically half of the front piece, and this is the back. So we're going to fold that front along the score line and burnish it. Okay. Now you can use this. I already cut this out. So I'll show you the pieces. So don't throw that away because you can use it on the card or you can use it on another card. So I've already gone ahead and cut this. So you're going to need 2 pieces. So I've cut a piece of Calypso Coral that is 2.5 by 4. And then I cut a piece of Daffodil Delight that is 2.25. She says confidently, 2.25 by 3 3/4. And I have gone ahead and emboss that using the embossing folder. Isn't that pretty? So you can use the piece that you've cut off from the top if you want. I just went ahead and did this already so that that I'd save a little bit of time. Okay, and then I've got a piece of Calypso Coral that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. It's going to go on the inside of my card, and a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5. So this is the layout of the card. And I have to say thank you to Beth McCullough. I got a card from her in the mail today, and I haven't done this fold for a very long time, and I thought this is perfect. So this is what my card is going to look like that. And then I cut, this is the largest stitch circle. Hey, Wendy, welcome. Hopefully you're getting spring weather in Winnipeg. So this is the largest stitched circle die cut out of Calypso Coral, and it is going to adhere just kind of half to this bottom piece and is going to float like that when we get it done. That's the layout. Okay, so let's do some of the gluing of this, and then we'll do some of the stamping. We'll do the stamping with the citrus, with the fruit. All right, so this piece will go on to here. And that on. I turned it because I think I just want the part of this is going to be covered up because when I stamp my citrus fruit, it's going to be partly covered up in this by the circle. So that's why I kind of turned it. I want this big embossed image to show up mostly. Okay, so I might stamp something on the inside. So I'm just going to adhere the Calypso Coral piece. If you don't want to put this extra layer on the inside of your card, you don't have to, but I thought it looked really pretty with this. Since you see this from the front of the card, it just kind of is a pretty card. Hey, Julie. Hey, Peg. Oh, 8 inches of snow yesterday, Wendy. Oh my gosh. It actually snowed here on the West Coast just a little bit on Sunday, but also just a little south of us it was kind of white. My niece woke up to a white lawn on Tuesday. It's supposed to be spring. What the heck? Okay, so I'm not going to put this on quite yet. What I'm going to do is I've got a piece of basic white, and we're going to do some stamping. Now, one thing, I'm going to bring these in. These are the two pieces that we need. This particular one, it's photopolymer, and this is the rinds of the fruit, and it's quite flimsy. So what I like to do is I just kind of take it and plop it down onto my grid paper, and then pick it up using the clear block. And the reason I do that is I find that it will kind of take the shape it wants to be in, and you have a better chance then of lining up it, because this is two-step stamping with the inside of the fruit. Oh, Julie, my goodness, 11 inches of snow. Whew. All right, so like I said, we're gonna have kind of a yellow, I mean, this is an orange, but it's not going to be it's not going to be a very orange. Okay, so I'm going to do the outside first. And the reason I do the outside, the rinds first, is I just like to, I have a better chance of lining this up if I do that. And I also, because there is one solid piece of fruit here, sometimes if I stamp the insides first, which doesn't have this, I don't leave room on my paper. So I just find that if I stamp the rinds first, I have a better chance of actually getting it on my paper and getting all the spots for it. Okay, so now what I want to do is turn my paper, turn the stamp. And because I've kind of taken the time to just plop it down and let it kind of take the shape that it wants to take, it's pretty easy to do that two-step stamping. Well, that's actually not too bad as far as the color. We'll go with that. Okay, so we've got our fruit stamped. So now what I want to do, I'm going to cut this. And the reason I'm going to cut this is because I'm actually going to emboss this and cut it out. So put your die into the embossing folder. This is the cutting side up, and it's on the side that's got the Stampin' Up! Logo. So we're just going to take that and just with our fingers get it till it stops moving around. And now we're going to lay this. Now you might be able to see it, but I can see, kind of just see the shape of the fruit. So I'm just going to roughly line this up in the embossing folder and then press it down. And when I turn it over, didn't quite get it, but if I hold this a little bit tight, I can shift my paper without shifting the die, she says. Okay, let's try this again. Put that in. Try to get this as lined up as you can. Oopsie, without moving it. And then turn it over. Oh, that's not too bad. Hold it. And if you leave your paper sticking out a little bit more than I did, you can just kind of adjust your paper inside the embossing folder without moving the die. So now I've got it lined up. Hey, Nancy. I'm just going to take it over to my, well, actually, let's bring my machine over. So this you have to use the regular size, the big machine. And you use the same platforms as if you were going to emboss. So I've got my platform number 1 and my platform number 4. So that would be the same as if you were just embossing. And we'll run this through. I love these 3D embossing folders. They are just so cool. All right, so now let's take our piece out. And we now have 4 pieces of fruit that are, can you see the embossed? They're embossed and stamped and cut out. So cool. All right. So I'm going to try and arrange my fruit so that it all is on this. There we go. Kind of like that on the, not that you're seeing much of this circle underneath, so I may kind of move it. But for now, I'm going to use some dimensionals. And I'm just going to put the dimensionals on the, say, the bottom third of my circle. And we're just going to stick that on so it pops up over the edge like that. Okay, so now when I open my card, it's going to look like that. And we'll stamp that in a minute. All right, and then you can take, and you can use dimensionals if you want. Just make sure if you're using dimensionals that you're only sticking them on to the circle and not to the back of the card. And 2 more. There we go. All right. There we go. That. There we go. And we'll put this lemon kind of down like that. And now I'm going to take, and I've cut out, I've stamped, and because now I'm bringing in my Granny Apple Green. So I stamped Granny Apple Green cardstock using Granny Apple Green ink. So I just cut or stamped and cut out using the dies 2 of the leaves. So we just use glue dots. I like to use glue dots to stick kind of behind. And I think this will just kind of like that maybe. And you could add more leaves if you wanted. I only cut 2 out, but I think that's okay. There we go. I don't like that going the same way. Let's see. There. Okay, there we go. All right, so I've got this. So I still need a sentiment. So I've got my piece, I've got a little piece of basic white here. So I'm going to stamp my sentiment in Calypso Coral. And the sentiment says, enjoy the sweeter things in life. So we're just going to take and stamp that. And my scissors. Now, I'm just going to take and cut kind of a rectangle. I don't worry that I'm straight. You could use a die or a punch, or you could cut this piece in advance if you wanted to. I just find it not very good at lining up the stamp if I try and get this straight on a piece that I've cut out. So that's why I tend to fussy cut. And I'm not worried that it's not perfectly straight. Now, I'm going to take and cut this in half, and then we'll use dimensionals. Almost out. Oh, I am out of dimensionals on this piece that I got. Oh, here I got another one. Don't throw those away. Use the outside, and I will use the outside, but for this I want. Okay, so I want that one first. Enjoy the sweeter things in life. There we go. Okay, now I still have this piece. So there is in the stamp set, if I could find my stamp set under this mess, there's some flowers here. So I'm just going to take these flowers, put them on a, and then now there is this two tiny little dies. There is this one middle, these are them for the middle of the flowers, and then both of them. So they're really tiny. And the other day I was thinking, oh my gosh, I've lost these two little ones. I'll show you what they do first. And I realized they were stuck on a stamp pad or a clear block that was in the drawer. So this one I'm done in Daffodil Delight. So you get the two flowers and then the larger flower. And so we're going to stamp the centers. Oopsie, got my finger in the ink. So we're going to stamp the center of the large one like that in Calypso Coral. Now this one is two centers on one stamp. And so ink it up, and that will stamp those two centers all in one go, which is really cool. Just don't forget what you've done with that stamp set and make sure you put it back into your stamp case, because they are so small you could lose them. All right, so then this can go onto the inside of our card like that. All right, and then the last thing, you can put ribbon if you want. I didn't grab ribbon, but I did grab some of these iridescent pastels. And so there are some that are in Calypso Coral. So we're just going to take and put maybe one there. There we go. All right, there's my card using Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, and Granny Apple Green. Thank you so much. And yes, and Darlene, thank you for giving me the thumbs up, and you, Wendy, as well. I really appreciate that. If you want to, feel free to share my video. If you're coming in through my Facebook page, you could actually share the video out as well. I'm happy if you do that. But I'd love for you to give me the thumbs up either on Facebook or on YouTube, depending on where you're coming in. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notified when I go live or when I post videos. I sometimes will post videos that go along with tutorials that I don't actually do live. I do them as part of a blog post. Thanks, Julie. Yeah, the colors really are pretty, aren't they? Okay, so let's see. It's Thursday night tonight. I'm taking another cookie decorating class on Saturday. I'm kind of excited about this. And so I won't be live at my normal time at 11, but I received today my first order from the new catalog. So it's not everything because we can't order everything at this point in time, but we can order a bunch of stuff from the pre-order. So I have some of the new colors, and I think I have all of the in colors. I kind of divided my order up. So I was thinking when I get home on Saturday afternoon from my class, I'm going to jump on live and do an unboxing of my pre-order of what I've received so far. So if you want to see that, join me. I think it probably will be around 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock. So if you're subscribed or if you're part of my Facebook group or page, you'll get notified when I'm going to go live. So hopefully you'll join me then and see some of these amazing new colors and new product from the catalog. And then I'll do another unboxing when I get my second order next week. I didn't want to order it all in one go. All right, let's see. And then Sunday I will be back at normal time. Now I know it's Easter Sunday, and so many of you will be probably spending some time with family, and I'm going to do that later too. But I thought I would jump on at 12 o'clock and make a project. All right, everybody, thanks so much for joining me. Hope you have a great evening. Happy stamping. Bye.